Everyone, remain calm.
Yeah, that's how it always starts. And later there's running and screaming.
Somebody talk to me! What is happening?
Welcome to Jurassic World.
You're listening to the Jurassic Park Podcast.
You want to consult here or in my bungalow? Hold on to your butts.
Well, we're back.
Hello and welcome to the 142nd episode of the Jurassic Park Podcast. I am your host, Brad Jost, and we're here to discuss all things Jurassic Park. In this episode, as always, we have a bunch of news to review regarding music for Fallen Kingdom, Target-exclusive Funko Pops, Jurassic World Evolution, some new merchandise, and a birthday to celebrate. After that, we have the long-awaited return of J. Jurassic. It's been a while since he was officially on the show, November, I believe, and we've heard from many of you guys wondering about his return. Well, it's finally here. We'll hear from Jay as he talks about what he's been up to and dives deeper into his nostalgia with his collecting and this franchise as a whole. This is part 1 of his return, so stay tuned for part 2 coming up at a later date. After that, we're going to jump into the audio lab and hear a ton of audio from this past week. We're going to hear from Jeff Goldblum and Chris Pratt on the 100th day out from Fallen Kingdom, more from Jeff on his Funko Pop and Jurassic World Evolution, a Jurassic Park themed skit on SNL, and music that was debuted from Fallen Kingdom. A little housekeeping before we move forward. Please don't miss Tom Fishinden's bonus episode that was released last week, featuring his look at some of the UK filming locations for Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. Now, he traversed the UK countryside to bring you the details on what he saw and what could have been filmed in these locations. And also, keep an eye out later this week for another bonus episode from myself and Tom, taking a long and detailed look at the LEGO offerings for Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom's promotional run. Now, we had a great time chatting about all those items, so stay tuned and download it as soon as it pops up. Alright, well, we've got a packed episode as always, so why don't we get this one started off with a bit of Jurassic news from around the world.
18 minutes and your company catches up on 10 years of research.
Access rate program. Access review security.
These pictures were taken in hospital in Costa Rica 48 hours ago.
I don't want to jump to any conclusions, but look.
Boy, do I hate being right all the time.
It's Dave. I guarantee it.
Alright, the biggest news this week had to have been the released music from Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom via Michael Giacchino and J.A. Bayona. Now, this stuff was all released on social media, not the greatest quality in the world, but it was all filmed live in the studio on their cell phones or whatever, and we were able to decipher a few different things here from the tweets and posts. It looks like this music, of course, is composed by Michael Giacchino. We already knew that. And this next part, you could pretty much assume it is orchestrated by Jeff Goldblum. He's the guy who's orchestrated most of Giacchino's recent work, Jurassic World included. The orchestrator basically expands the score based on, you know, the composer's ideas and you know, basically fills out the rest of the score. It looks like the recording began March 12th at the historic Abbey Road Studios in London. You all know about that studio. It looks like it was conducted by Ludwig Wicki, recorded the vocals for these tracks with the London Voices, so it's great to hear that there's going to be a choir in these songs as well. We're going to play the release material later on in this episode inside the audio lab, so stay tuned for that. But this is amazing. I didn't expect to hear this stuff already, and we got some new stuff, we got some old stuff. It's all great, so stay tuned. So, if you were like me, in that vast majority of people who did not get the Target exclusive Ian Malcolm Funko Pop, then you were probably pretty disappointed. You know, they were released online at 12 a.m. PST, so 3 a.m. where I am, and there was no way I was going to stay up that late in order to purchase a Funko Pop. but it looks like I probably should have, as they completely sold out in a matter of minutes. But don't worry, we might not have to wait too long. Here's the word from Funko. The Target exclusive Dr. Ian Malcolm will be restocked. Target will have more available closer to the release of Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. More are on the way. So, you know, Fallen Kingdom comes out in June, so I guess we can expect to see more of them back on the shelves, or at least online until they're probably sold out again sometime around the film's release. There's no more information on this at the time, so again, stay tuned. I'm sure most of you have already freaked out about this one, but for those of you who didn't know, Jeff Goldblum will be reprising his role of Dr. Ian Malcolm in the video game Jurassic World Evolution. He'll be voicing his character for the entire game, apparently, so I'd assume it's something like the previous games, like Chaos Island or Trespasser, where you have the characters interacting with you in the game. I'm pretty sure he's probably just going to be guiding us through the park, kind of as we're building things and maintaining things, letting us know that he was probably right all along when things go bad, and basically tells you that everything you just did was completely wrong. Basically like, that's how it always starts, and later your game is over, you know, or something like that. But enough of my terrible Goldblum impression. There's not many details at the moment, but stay tuned for the Audio Lab segment later in the show to hear from Jeff in that announcement video. Entertainment Earth has a cool new item listed on their website. It's a Jurassic Park Amber Pocket Watch. Now, you'll be able to pre-order this watch for $24.99 with a release coming in August. Now, here's a few words from Entertainment Earth. You don't need to go back in time to pick up this cool Jurassic Park Amber Pocket Watch. Celebrate the 25th anniversary of the iconic movie and keep track of time. The cover of this pocket watch features a Tyrannosaurus skeleton silhouette in faux amber. Push the button to showcase the classic Jurassic Park logo on the black dial. So yeah, their image on the website is a digital recreation, but it definitely looks like it will be a beautiful item. It has, like they said, the amber glass design behind the silver Rex fossil silhouette. On the inside is the iconic Jurassic Park logo with the clock itself. Head to our website to check out the write-up on the item and make sure to let us know if you're going to pick one up. And we do have a birthday to celebrate this week. Happy birthday to Nick Robinson, Zach Mitchell from Jurassic World. His birthday is Thursday, March 22nd. Let's all reach out to him online or wherever and wish him a happy birthday.
Oh, there it is. There it is.
Who's got some change? He takes quarters. I got a buck. I got a $1.10.
How'd you get it?
You don't want to know.
Who named it? We got it.
Where did you get that?
I got it on eBay.
When they're expensive, put them back.
He's a digger.
Muchacho, let's on the move. I had promised to conduct a very thorough on-site inspection and get stuff in the sand.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. I got it for $150.
But we'll pay it. And then there's the merchandise. I can personally...
Donald, this park was not built to cater only for the super rich.
That first park was legit.
I could write all kinds of numbers on this check.
I remember that on InGen's list. It's because it wasn't on their list.
This fossilized tree sap, which we call amber.
Hello, Jurassic fans. It's been a while since I've been on the podcast. I've been busy out there in the jungles of Nublar, and in the jungles of Sorna, and even in the jungles of Matanceros. If you know what I mean. It's one of the, the islands of the Five Dots. I'm in the process of moving, and I'm moving stuff around, so I thought it'd be a very proper, like, Amber Finds episode, where this one's gonna be a two-parter. So, first part, we're gonna be talking about some memories and merchandise, and the second part, we'll be talking about basically the 25th anniversary of Jurassic Park, and some of the new merchandise and some of the old. It's all merch, because this is Amber Finds, and we talk about the cool stuff that we find from the Jurassic Park universe. Now, basically what's going on, like I said, I'm in the process of moving, and I was in the process as well of selling some pieces of my collection. And I posted that, and I got a lot of why are you doing this, and why this and why that, and I mean, it's some stuff I was willing to sell, and I still am, but it's gonna be mainly Jurassic World stuff. So sorry to disappoint everybody, but I will not be selling any Lost World or original Jurassic Park stuff. It's just not gonna happen. You know what I mean? Jurassic World stuff, yeah, because the Mattel stuff is so awesome. So yeah, I'd probably use some money for that, and just just some money for the big move. It's you know what I mean? I'm moving to a better place, and I'm gonna have a nice office to do all this type of stuff. You will start seeing a lot more artwork coming from me, a lot more podcasting, and even YouTube videos. There's gonna be a lot of stuff coming up in the next couple months, right before the movie release and right after the movie release. So basically, this Amber Finds episode, I haven't done Amber Finds in a while. I've done a lot of Jay and Ted's. I've been on other podcasts. I was not too long ago. I was on on toy podcasts and whatnot. But this podcast became, it became an idea as I was wrapping and putting away stuff for the collection, and just everything I put away had a memory on it, whether it was a pencil sharpener, stamp, or just a ticket stub from Jurassic World, or a tag or something, I started thinking back. Most of the Amber Finds, when I talk about a specific piece of merchandise, and in this one, I want to discuss everything as a whole. And I know there's a lot of collectors out there, and some of us just collect and collect and collect. But a question I want to ask all the collectors: do you have one piece, or maybe let's say 5, that you pick up and it makes you smile because it brings you back to a certain time when you actually being a kid, or brings back this imaginative world that existed before responsibilities of an adult. In the midst of all the stuff going on in my personal life and moving and whatnot, I picked up the Dilophosaurus, and it's the one my grandmother got me. It's the first JP toy, actually, out of my entire collection. It's the first one that started it up. And I remember going to the store. It was a Kmart, say early 93. I don't remember exactly the date, so I might be wrong, guys. It might be 92. I don't remember exactly when the toy was released, but I do remember going to the store, and the aisle, it was the Kmart that we used to go to had like this locked out kind of, it's not locked out but boxed out entrance area, where the entrance doors led to the outside, but on the inside it had a little boxed out area where it had an exit and it had another entry door. So you have to pass through 2 sets of doors to get into the store. That rhymed. And where the toys was, I would say, maybe there was some aisles to the right of you, and there was usually those aisles were like made for TV stuff, or like sometimes they would just have like random stuff there. It was like random shelf fillers, And to the left of me were the registers and customer service of that Kmart. You would walk down, I would say, what was it, like 2 or 3 aisle sections. It would have like, you'd walk past the clothing. It was women's clothing, or like girls' clothing, and then it was between the boys and girls' clothing. There was one aisle that led right into the toys. Now, I always used to go in that Kmart. We used to go all the time with my grandma. It was kind of like a weekend thing that we used to do. She would get all dressed up and get all nice because she was going out there, and it was funny because it's like we're just going to Kmart, Grandma. You know what I mean? Like, it's not a big deal, but to her it was. She liked to take us out, and she got all nicely dressed, and she would make us dress in our, I don't know, I guess you'd call it church clothes or whatever, and we would go to, we'd go out to eat, and then we go to Kmart, and she would go and buy her little things or whatever, and she would tell me I could go get one toy. So I was obsessed with dinosaurs at the time. They had these toys that were like the Dino Rider toys, but weren't Dino Riders. They were like museum something, and I had like a sloth from them, a saber-toothed cat, or Smilodon. I had the Pteranodon from them, and a Deinonychus from them. And they came in these little packs. They were like these green boxes. I think they were green. It was like ferns and stuff around it. And it brought like 3 of them or 2. And it said something on the bottom, something, I can't remember exactly what toy company they were from, but later down the line, I found out that those same molds or toy figures were used for Dino Riders. Same ones. So I went out, I went to the toys aisle, and it was an end cap. It wasn't inside the toy aisle. It was on an end cap. I saw this this red, like blaring red and orange sunset with black silhouetted trees. And if you could look at it, you can go down aisles from it and you would just see it. It just brought your eyes right to it. And on that end cap was the most wonderful, amazing dinosaur toys I had ever laid my eyes on. And they had, I think it was, the Triceratops was there. The young T-Rex was there. Pteranodon had the human figures, the basic first wave human figures. Had Grant, had Ellie, Muldoon, all these characters. I had no idea about these characters. I had seen the commercial Jurassic Park, and I wanted to see the movie. And sadly, I never did see it in theaters. But I had seen these, and I had this whole world built up in my head about this Jurassic Park. I thought these characters were just like, I didn't know who Dr. Alan Grant was. I was like, who is this guy? But man, does he look cool with these pteranodons and that hat and all that, and Ellie, and I had no idea what these characters had to do in the movie. And I didn't know that for an entire year. I played with these figures and made all this stuff up. Whenever I played Jurassic Park Adventures, I made it up because I had not seen the movie. So for an entire year, these characters were just a blank slate to me, and became whatever I wanted to create them to be. Once I saw the movie, I put them in their respective spots. But at first, it was just left to my imagination. Alan Grant could have been, the enemy. I don't know. I of course didn't do that because he was a paleontologist. But I could have made Muldoon. Muldoon was like the mercenary. I don't remember back what I did with these characters, how I made them work in my own imaginative psyche. But they had those on the pegs, on the up there with the figures, and then they had the basic dinosaur figures. And I went to my grandma. I know what I want. She's like, okay, which one do you want? She's like, oh, more dinosaurs, huh? I'm like, yes, more dinosaurs. She's like, which one do you want? And I'm like, can I have 2? She's like, no, 1 today. Next weekend, maybe. Depends on how you do in school. This is like incentive for me to be really good in school. I was a straight A student all through my elementary years, middle school, and then I like the first 2 years of high school, and then I don't know, I just started slacking. But I was an honor roll student, straight A's, and the incentive was Jurassic Park, Ninja Turtles, and Batman. That's what got me the good grades. I didn't want to excel because I just wanted to. I just wanted these toys. So like, she told me to pick one, and I did, and it was the Dilophosaurus. And I took the Dilophosaurus home, and I remember sitting in the car ride home, and he was in the bag, and I take him out of the bag, I look at him, and I look at the box, and I look at the back of the box, and I started already like circling in my head what other next figure I wanted. I wanted the car, I wanted that one, and then you saw Stan Winston's T-Rex on the bottom with the figures, and I'm like, oh, I want that T-Rex. Look at the T-Rex. They've never made a T-Rex that size. It's always a small, tiny Rex. This one goes perfect with the human figures. This is the T-Rex I want. And I'm sitting there and like just looking at this wonderful packaging with this blood red orange sunset with black silhouetted trees. It just captured my imagination. And this is a moment. I'm talking about when I was like 6 years old. I'm in my 30s, my friends. I'm actually gonna be 32 next month. My birthday is next month. So, I remember this like clearly because this dinosaur became the reason I started collecting. It was the quality of the toy was perfect. I even did the action feature, and he sucks up a little bit of water and he spits it back out and stuff. I didn't want to do too much because I didn't want to destroy him, which he's kind of a little bit destroyed. He doesn't have an eye. Like one eye is missing, like the paint came off of the eye. It's an easy fix, but why would I fix it? It shows how much love and playware I had for this dinosaur, that I played with this dinosaur till it was just completely demolished. His tails has a little bit of like tears in it. His legs are wobbly, like you can't stand them up. The only way to stand them up is by putting his legs all the way back and having his tail be like the standee for the animal, for the figure, So sorry guys, I'm a little bit doing this late night. That's just it. And I pick up that one, and then you start going through the collection, because sometimes you just have it. I don't know about you guys, I don't know about my fellow collector friends. You have the collection just sitting on the shelf, and do you ever really just sit there or stand next to it and just pick one of the pieces out and then think for a moment back when you actually purchased the piece, or who got you this piece, and how just the adventure in the adventure of how it actually got to you and why it is important. I can sell a lot of my Jurassic World stuff because I have no emotional attachment to mainly none of it, really, to tell you the truth. There's nothing. I love the movie, and some of the stuff is cool, but the toys are just like horrible. They didn't, and at this age, I don't really want them. Like, I just kind of put them on a shelf. So, but when I look at Lost World, I can look at so many pieces in Lost World, and it's just like, this one reminds me of this one reminds me of that. Like I remember sitting in the backyard, where we used to live when I used to live with my stepbrothers, and there was a lot of us. I have 3 stepbrothers, and we would play with Jurassic Park toys in the back. And when we were playing back there was like this huge tree. It was like, but it wasn't huge in the sense it was like tall. It was just like a wide tree, and it had all these roots that were like above ground. So we would use that as like that, and like a tree in the jungle of Jurassic Park, and the ground was just not much grass grew around this one area, so there was a lot of dirt. Just roll in there with the cars, and the cars would kick up the dirt so it looked like dust, and just being back there with the dinosaurs and have them all. I mean, there's like a sand pit back there too, where I used to have Compsognathus. No, not the Coelophysis. There you go. I'd have the Coelophysis there, and they'd be like, I don't know, I made them into like these sand dune type of worms kind of thing. It was weird. Like only their necks came up from the sand. I don't know. I just felt like, oh, I mean, maybe they like to dig and burrow in the sand, and they come out and they just snatch any unsuspecting victim. And I mean, the imagination that these toys in my collection gave me as things that I did, you know, creating this entire world without even seeing the movie for an entire year. I think back and I'm just like, wow, you know, these toys, these toys are 25 years old. And you mean, yeah, they're beaten down a little bit, the paint wear and whatnot, but they still are there. You really have to be like Sid from Toy Story to destroy these toys. You know? And when my T-Rex was losing her arms, fall out, I ended up just gluing them on her. I super glued them, and they've been on her like that since then. Now, dino damage pieces, oh man, we've all lost those. I remember I bought the young T-Rex, and that same day I lost the dino damage piece. I don't know where it is. It's somewhere in the woods. Somewhere in the woods in North Jersey. I can tell you that. Somebody finds it, let me know. Same thing with Muldoon. Muldoon, I lost the hatchling T-Rex on that ladder of that house. He fell through the cracks of the ladder. We looked everywhere for it under it, and no, he just disappeared. I know where that T-Rex is. So, you know what I mean? This is this type of things that I was doing while I was like bubble wrapping them and putting them away. And just thinking that, like, you know, some people will look at the collection and they just see toys. They just see action figures and, I don't know, like different variations of DVDs and variations of posters, and you know what I mean? It doesn't matter what you collect, somebody's gonna look at it as just stuff, and I don't see that. I don't know if my fellow collectors can agree, but I see something we love, that we all love and share. I see items that bring out memories. What I see when I look at these dinosaurs, I see photographs in my head. I see what brings me smiles and happiness. I love my collection, and I wish I had, well, where I'll be moving to, I'll have a better way to display it. Where I had it now wasn't that great. It was very congested. It was very, you know, but just knowing that like, it's just, it's crazy to think that like it's been so long, and that these toys bring out so much of my inner self, and I don't know if anybody can agree. It brings out the better times, you know. It's like, you know, most of us are adults that listen to the podcast. Some of us are not, And things happen in life, and you get certain things in your adult life that happen, and just always try to find the one thing that they can kind of bring you back to a sense of calm. And artwork does it for me sometimes, but artwork isn't always. It's great when your mind doesn't really want to work with you to draw anything up, so you're kind of stuck sometimes. So I sometimes I can't draw. Sometimes I can't sit there and really draw something out. I have to really get in the mood to draw it. But I can always pick up that Dilophosaurus and smile. I could always pick up the Queen, the Red Rex, and smile. Pick them up, just look at them. Just think of the memories, So, I just wanted to share that with you guys. I felt that it was something to share. This is, like I said, this is a two-parter. So, this is just the first part, me just talking about the collection in general. I didn't want to go too specific with pieces, whatnot. I'll do that when I dedicate more into a specific episode about a piece. And I'll be able to do that in the new place. So I'll be able to have more of like the space to be more representative of it and whatnot. But I do want to say that, like, for the second part of this, we're going to be talking about the 25th anniversary of Jurassic Park. Not only the 25th anniversary, some of the items that are coming out for the 25th anniversary already have come out. Since, sorry that I haven't been around, I know people already have some of those items. But I want to talk about some of them. Some of them I've been able to get my hands on. Some of them, it's been tough to get to. And I want to talk about the first time I saw Jurassic Park, and how it changed everything, how it changed my perspective on how I viewed movies, and how it changed my perspective on how much I love dinosaurs. How it really changed my life, because at this age, everybody would think I'd kind of stop liking dinosaurs. Not the case, as it seems. Good for that, right? Because there wouldn't be an Amber Finds or a page like J Jurassic Instagram, where you guys can look at all my dinosaur stuff. There wouldn't be a collection. And also to announce a contest. Oh yeah, I'm running one. And let's just say the prizes are not going to be drawings of mine. Well, maybe I'll throw in a drawing or something. But they're actually going to be pieces. Maybe toys. Maybe pop figures. What? It's going to be a big contest. Because I've been away from the community. I felt bad. And I really want to reward everybody for still sticking with me. Because you guys still have been there. I lost a lot of followers. That's cool. It's fine. But a lot of other people still stuck with me even when stuff was going on, And this right here is pretty much my comeback episode. And even though it is like a two-parter, so this is the first part, it's me pretty much saying I'm back. Now I'm back to doing this. Alright? So, be in tune for the second part of this podcast. This Amber Finds special. Yeah, man, and just keep a lookout. All right. After hearing this, I really would like to hear from other collectors on certain items they loved, or they love still, or that they, couldn't let go of, or they lost. I could talk about how I lost items, but I don't want to really put this podcast down. I felt like this podcast was more to be happy about what you have. Be glad with what you have, even if it's a tiny collection, even if you just started one and you have just a T-Rex. Be happy you have just that T-Rex. That T-Rex is going to be the starter for so much cool stuff. I started with just a tiny little Dilophosaur. That's it. Just one Dillo. That's it. And now it turned into this gargantuan monsters collection that I can't even control. So, everyone starts from somewhere, but just remember to keep like memories with this stuff, you know? And that's it. Alright guys, it was great being back. Hope to hear you guys. Like you guys should know, or if you don't, if you're new to the podcast, I can be found on Twitter or Instagram at JJurassic. That's JAYE_JURASSICK, like Jurassic, but with a K, like sick. Alright? And just send me pictures of your collection and stuff like that. I love seeing other people's collections. It's awesome. Alright? Okay, guys. I'll see you on the next one. Back to you, Brad.
Hold your fire! Do not fire!
God creates man. Man destroys God. Man creates dinosaurs. Boy, do I hate being right all the time.
We're gonna have to drop the can! Are you ready? 1, 2, come on!
This week in the audio lab, we have a ton of audio for you to listen to, some of which I mentioned earlier in the news segment, but we're going to start it off with 2 100 Days Out from Fallen Kingdom videos from Chris Pratt and Jeff Goldblum. Let's take a listen.
Get ready for Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom in exactly 100 days.
Get ready for Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom in 100 days.
Alright, so yeah, we're definitely less than 100 days out now, so this is less relevant, I guess, but it is still great to hear them hyping up the film's release. Head to our show notes to see those videos for yourself. Next up here, we have some audio from Jeff Goldblum from his appearance on Conan O'Brien's late night talk show, with them discussing Malcolm's Funko Pops. Let's listen in.
You're in the next Jurassic World movie.
Yes, sir. Fallen Kingdom.
Fallen Kingdom, and this is a high honor. Funko has put out 2 figures of you as Dr. Ian Malcolm. These are...
Is it Funko or Funko? Funko Pop. Funko Pop, I think.
Funko, yeah, it's Funko, right?
Funko.
What did I say?
I think you said Funko. Funko.
Funko.
What?
What's the difference? What's your...
Funko. I think you were like a fun company. The fun company. Funko. Funko.
These are your Funko dolls. Look at these. These are Dr. Ian. Look at this one, right? Look at this one. That's the sexiest Funko doll
That's the sexy
I've
one.
ever seen.
Yeah.
That's pretty sexy right there.
That's meant to depict my scene from Jurassic the first one when I, disrobed.
So we know. Would you like to rub your own dog's nipple? You can, your own doll's nipple?
My own dog? You
your
said
own
my own
dog.
dog. You said dog. You said dog.
No, you were rubbing your dog earlier in a story.
I don't think
this whole thing, I don't think any of this is airable, ladies and gentlemen. I'll be honest with you right now.
Here.
There's no one... Huh?
Never mind. I was going to do something I oughtn't.
Yeah.
I love it. You know, he is just so Goldblummy here, and this gets me so excited for the next few months leading up to the film's release, hopefully hearing more from Jeff. Well, speaking of Jeff, here he is again with that audio I mentioned earlier in the news segment announcing his involvement in Jurassic World Evolution. Let's check it out.
My name is Jeff Goldblum, and I'm here to tell you that I'm working on the new Jurassic World Evolution. It's a game made by that team at Frontier. So I'm going to be with you the whole game as Dr. Ian Malcolm. That's the character that I play in those Jurassic Park movies. I highly recommend it. It gets 10 Goldblums out of a possible 10 Goldblums. That's my highest rating.
Now, this one was a great surprise last week, and as you can tell, I just love hearing Jeff speak, so I'm going to play his audio as much as I possibly can here. Fingers crossed for some more soon. Alright, I know music from Fallen Kingdom is coming, but let's first take a listen to the Jurassic Park sketch from Saturday Night Live this past weekend, where they reenacted fictitious auditions from famous actors in the 1993 era. It's pretty funny, so let's check it out.
25 years ago, Steven Spielberg opened the doors to Jurassic Park, and inside those doors, spoiler alert, were dinosaurs. Now, as part of the 25th anniversary re-release, you can watch the original 1992 screen tests.
Hugh Grant for Dr. Alan Grant.
Yes, hate to be bothered, but if you look behind you, there's a bit of a T-Rex, and I thought perhaps we should move faster to escape its rather large teeth.
Alan Alda for Muldoon.
Let her go. That dinosaur comes out and attacks me. Oh, God, you guys, that is great. That is just terrific. And how are you guys going to shoot the dinosaurs? Is it going to be force perspective? You know, that's how we shot Jamie Farr on MASH. Yeah, no, he's only about 2 feet tall, you know.
Ellen DeGeneres for Dr. Sattler.
All right, wow. That's a gigantic pile of dino poop. I've had stools on stage before, but this is ridiculous. I'm just kidding. I'm 90s Ellen.
Hey, I'm telling y'all, trust me, spend your money, all right? IRS can't take it if it's already spent. Can't take something already gone. That's a tax loophole for you, brother.
Wesley.
Huh?
Could we get the line?
Oh, yeah. Bingo. Dino DNA. Now, if y'all want my accountant's number, it's 1-900.
Roseanne Barr for John Hammond.
Welcome to Jurassic Park.
Nope.
Adam Sandler for Muldoon.
All right, thank you.
Herky-lurky-do and turkey-lurky-dee. I like the T-Rex. Does T-Rex like me?
Shut up! Whoopi Goldberg as Dr. Sattler.
Well, let's talk about it. Because the last thing I need right now is dinosaurs. And then I'll give the dinosaur a look like...
Pee Wee Herman.
You didn't say the magic word!
Drew Barrymore for Dr. Sattler.
There are brontosauruses and brachiosauruses and apatosauruses. But I have to wonder, are we playing God?
Joey Lawrence from Blossom.
Okay, react to seeing the dinosaurs for the first time. Whoa! All right, want to try anything else?
No! Gwen Stefani as the teenage girl.
I'm just a girl. Don't eat me, big dinosaur.
Can we get a frightened scream?
Ooh.
Sinbad.
Now, y'all know that my wife is a triceratops, right? Yeah, I wait downstairs while she tries on several tops. How y'all doing? Y'all good? That's your lady?
Al Pacino.
Welcome to Jurassic Park.
Lisa Kudrow.
Well, there's the T-Rex. And must move faster. Must move faster. Oh, no. Oh, no. Must move faster.
Jaleel White.
Okay, so you just let all the dinosaurs loose on the island.
Did I do that?
Eddie Vedder for the soundtrack.
Raptors are opening the door. Daddy!
Jodie Foster as Mr. DNA.
Sometimes a mosquito would get caught in the sap. It was so sticky. So sticky.
Could you try it a little happier?
This is the happiest I've ever been. Today is my birthday.
O.J. Simpson.
Okay, so if I did let the dinosaurs out, let me tell you how I would have done it. Hypothetically. Man, 1992. Whew. It is good to be OJ right now. Ain't nothing gonna slow this train down. Go, OJ, go!
Clint Eastwood, take one.
Welcome to Jurassic Park.
The 25th anniversary of Jurassic Park.
I love it when they do these fake auditions and screen tests. You may have heard them before. They've previously done Back to the Future and Star Wars, I think, among others. So I was super grateful to see that they're kind of Also using this as a promotional tool for the 25th anniversary while doing this skit. SNL is on NBC, which is owned by NBC Universal, all owned by Comcast, so it all kind of ties together why they would promote it. This is a skit that you kind of need to see visually, so I've included a video in our show notes. Alright, so here's the good stuff. I mentioned it earlier, but Michael Giacchino and J.A. Bayona showcased a bunch of audio on social media this week for Fallen Kingdom as it was being recorded at the Abbey Road Studios, so let's take a listen to the first cue released by Bayona. Alright, so I'm sure you're like, well, that's not new, I've heard that before. Well, that's because it was in As the Jurassic World Turns, on the Jurassic World score. It was basically like the main theme of Jurassic World, kind of like the park itself in a way. Whenever they kind of showcase the park, you basically heard that. It's a slightly different take on that theme, which had some different accent and notes in the background, and it transitioned into the beginning of the Jurassic Park theme, which it actually did cycle between versions of those two themes in Jurassic World. You might remember as the kids travel to the island, you kind of hear that As the Jurassic World Turns theme popping up a little bit, and then it showcased the Jurassic Park theme, the very intro of that theme, as they're like shooting the boat. So it is pretty interesting. I wonder if it will play in similar fashion in Fallen Kingdom. You know, maybe going back to the island or something like that. I don't know. I'm not really sure how it fits in. But I do really like the new additions to the As the Jurassic World Turn themes, though. I think it adds a lot to it. But yeah, like I said, it might be the same theme, but it is taking it in at least a slightly new direction. Now, from here we get our next track, which was shared by Giacchino. Let's take a listen to this one. Alright, so this one is basically pretty much the unreleased track Ye Old Visitor Center from Jurassic World as well. At least a portion of that track. Now that track wasn't on the score, it was used as the kids crept through the old visitor center. Like I said, it wasn't on that original score, but it did kind of find its way online later. And if you noticed, I don't know if you know the original Ye Old Visitor Center track, it's certainly a bit slower than that one, that old rendition, I guess, but otherwise it's nearly identical. Aside from the ending of it, it's a bit unresolved, I guess, missing the second half of that Jurassic Park theme there. As I was listening to it, I just felt like unfulfilled as the rest of the theme wasn't really played. So it really makes me wonder if that unresolved feeling kind of plays into the film as well at that point, whenever it's played. Because when you're listening to music, you kind of want it to be resolved, like the note structure and the theme itself. And in this case, it kind of just ends and like an elongated note at the end, and it kind of just stops, and that's it. But I don't know. I don't know what to make of that one. And so far, we've gotten 2 similar themes that we've heard so far. And myself and a lot of people have actually been pining for the Lost World theme to kind of return. You know, that adventure, music from that movie. But so far, no such luck. I guess it really doesn't make sense if you're just going to stick to Nublar. Thematically, it kind of makes sense only if you're on Sorna. But as far as we know, we're not going there yet, at least. But we do have one last new piece of music released from Bayona, not tied to any previously thematic work at all. Let's take a listen to that one. Alright, so I don't know what you guys thought of that one, but initially, that first hit in the music, which is kind of cut off, we don't really hear a ton of it, but that music sounds like the end of the moment in Jurassic World score, the track Our Rex is Bigger Than Yours. You might remember that from basically the moment where the Rex and the Indominus battle. So it's that moment where the Rex kind of smashes through the spino bones. It's like super triumphant, and then it quickly ducks down, just like this one did. So you get that kind of like triumphant tone, and then it ducks down really quick. And I've been seeing a lot of people noticing a like Jaws-like structure with the dun 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 something like that. It is slightly different here, and I don't really connect those dots per se like a lot of people are. The way I'm hearing it is it sounds so much like the note structure from the Impact Tremor segment. So you can hear it's more of like a trill. It's not really like a dun. It's more of like a back and forth several times kind of thing. So I'd assume it's kind of like a dino making its way towards something. And when it gets there, we get this incredibly terrifying dissonant note structure that really sounds triumphant, I guess, in its own like sinister way. It sounds like really scary and upsetting, but it also has that like triumphant, like I win kind of, sound to it. I don't know. And it does end on like a blaring note at the end, kind of like this is the end. It makes me very scared for whatever it is. And it does remind me a lot of Lost, since Giacchino scored that show. So the most interesting thing, though, is that this music was accompanied in a tweet from a few words by director J.A. Bayona saying, "And this is how you end a movie." So yeah, I mean, who knows what to think about that, whether it's a misdirection or it is literally the last notes of the movie. I know when we did, I literally think it was like the second episode that we did when they released the Jurassic World music officially. It was like actual tracks. We guessed most of the music there, like spot on, and you could tell like, what's the name of the track? I'm blanking. 9 to Survival Job was literally like the end of that movie. So maybe it's this same thing, that it's literally the end. Or it could be, in my case, I'm thinking like, could be like during the credits, like literally a suite, like the end of the suite. Or maybe, like I said, maybe it's a misdirection. Maybe it's somewhere else. Or maybe it's like the last track that they scored. I don't know. But it does certainly sound like kind of like a cliffhanger. And from what we've been hearing from Colin and Bayona, that this film is kind of going to lead right into the territory for Jurassic World 3. So, you know, maybe this is a scary, triumphant ending for a villain. I don't know. It kind of sounds that way. You know, if he's hinting that this is the end of the movie, and this sounds so scary, put 2 and 2 together and be scared. But I guess we'll see. Anyway, that really wraps up this extended audio lab. You can find all the links and the videos of everything I just discussed to all of these items, like I said, in our show notes. Make sure to visit JurassicParkPodcast.com to find all our past episodes, brand new news articles, information on how to contact us, and much more. It's a great source for everything related to the podcast, and of course, Jurassic Park and Jurassic World. Head to JurassicParkPodcast.com and help us build a great community.
Anybody hear that?
Thanks for listening to the 142nd episode of the Jurassic Park Podcast. Of course, a big thanks to Jay Jurassic for coming back to the podcast in his triumphant return. I am so glad to finally get him back here because in his absence, I really felt like his work was missing from the show. I've always loved his stuff, and I really hope you enjoyed his segment this week as much as I did, and certainly look forward to what comes next. So stay tuned for part 2 in his comeback run. Also, please don't forget to listen to Tom's bonus episode last week looking at the Fallen Kingdom filming locations. And of course, certainly stay tuned to our bonus episode this week where we look at all of the LEGO items for Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. If you want to interact with us, we do most of our work over on Twitter at Jurassic Park Pod. We're also on Facebook at facebook.com/Jurassic Park Podcast, and our Instagram handle is at Jurassic Park Podcast. You can listen to us via iTunes, Google Play, Podomatic, YouTube, our website, or wherever else podcasts are found. So make sure to subscribe to automatically get new episodes every week. If you haven't already, please give us a 5-star review in iTunes or a great review wherever you listen to the podcast. It will seriously help out our rankings and make it easier for fans like you to find us. Don't forget to check out JurassicParkPodcast.com for all the links you heard here today. If you want to get a hold of us, you can email us with any news stories, MP3s, comments, or if you want to debut a segment of your own, send them to JurassicParkPod@gmail.com. Or you can submit questions directly on our website contact form. If you'd like to record something for the show, send it in to us and we'll feature it in an upcoming episode. If you don't have any way to record, you can give our voicemail line a call and leave us a message. That number is 732-825-7763. Thanks for listening and enjoy.
5 minutes. Drop what you're doing and leave now.